All right, everyone. So we'll be heading to the beautiful Tampa, Florida today. Let's see this beautiful city. All right, everybody, welcome today. So I'm Dwight with Max Moving Training, and today we're going to be going live with our guest Wade Swirkle from Two College Brothers, where we're going to be discussing a topic and mystery of what Wade is going to be, showing us today, so that we can be learning as we go in this industry. Wade, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Dwight. Well, yeah, my name is Wade. I'm the owner of Two College Brothers Moving and Storage. We've got locations in Gainesville and Tampa, Florida. I also host the Grow Your Moving Company podcast and am partnered on the Moving Titan retreats that we host several times per year, which you were actually a guest at, one of our more recent ones. And we do pretty much everything in the moving business. We do full service moving, packing, local, long distance. We've got over 11,000 square feet of warehouse space that we do storage in. And we've recently just launched a commercial moving division and have also launched a franchising entity to start selling franchises. So kind of everything, all kind of in the moving ecosystem, several different business entities, but they all kind of enhance one another. And happy to share some processes with us here with you today.
Awesome, awesome. So, correct me if I'm wrong or so, but you have two locations, one in Tampa and one in Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
What is, I guess, having two locations, you have to have your processes dialed in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's always been big for me. There's been several books that I've read early on that have really reinforced the need for detailed processes and systems. And going through Louis Massaro's flagship program and his online classes, that also reinforced the need pretty significantly. So these have been a work in progress for about 10 years now. We're constantly tweaking our processes to adapt to changes, whether it's technological changes, structural changes within our own organization, growth. Sometimes new challenges are presented as we grow. But in order to franchise and run two locations, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, work out of our Tampa office most days. And make it up to Gainesville relatively infrequently now because we've got a lot of it, just kind of running on a turnkey situation by having these processes implemented. And we use a program called Trainual for our processes, and it's something that definitely gives us a selling point for eventually, once we get our first few franchises and continue to expand that way, sold. We've got almost every single detail for every role in our company pretty dialed in and pretty granular stuff. So we use, like I said, we use Trainual. We make sure that as part of our onboarding process, all new movers are assigned a Trainual course. They're quizzed on each separate module in there. If we make a change or an update, we can roll that out and reset the scores for the quizzes for those particular modules, which allows us to make those changes and make sure that everybody knows about the changes that are being made. And then once you get through all that, you're expected to know it, and they can reference it. There's an app that our team has, and they can pull it up on their phone. So if they're forgetting, what is by the book, how to do something in a certain situation, they can pull that up, and it helps us just hold people accountable by just laying everything out. And that way, if there's a problem, we can go back to the process and say, hey, you didn't follow this process, and there's a process for consequences and penalizing people who don't follow those processes, and it results in a problem, and we'll follow that process, basically a disciplinary process. So that helps us kind of just hold people accountable, and these processes are enforced every single week too. So we do a training meeting with our movers every Friday morning, and we'll provide breakfast for them, spend about 30 minutes. Just picking something that maybe we had some issues with the week before, or maybe just something we haven't gone over in a while, and just kind of continuing to drill these things home, because it's really usually not enough for somebody to go through a process one time and then expect them to master it. It's something that takes regular reinforcement over and over and over again, and then if they stray away from it, some corrective processes and procedures to get them back on track. So a progressive disciplinary track. So I'm happy to share with you one of them. I picked loading a truck, which I think is pretty important for our business, and hopefully you guys can kind of take away from it. And obviously I understand there's different ways to skin a cat, so you might have a better way of loading a truck, and some movers might that come into our company, but this is kind of our universal approach on this. Is, if you've never loaded a truck before, follow these steps, and you're more likely than not going to see success, and everybody will be on the same page, and it'll be pretty uniform.
Yeah, so if y'all didn't hear, he just said having a process for a process, and that's huge, just to see how deep that process library goes, is just that mystery in its own. But, definitely processes to running your organization is going to be key. Even, maybe Wade has mentioned, having a process for loading a truck, not just, being able to say, well, hey guys, when we go out today, hey, I need you to load it this way or load it this way, or looking at a video or whatever cases, but actually having a dialed in written process for loading, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can go ahead and try to share my screen with you here.
All right.
All right, so this is what a section in our trainual looks like. So if you have trainual, you might, this might look familiar, but I basically, you can zoom out as far as you want, really. I mean, you can look at all the different processes that we have and what's been published. You can manage policies and people over here. And so for this one, we're going to go to mover skill training. This is required for movers as part of their onboarding process. I believe this one is actually, in order to get their first raise, they need to have this one completed. So mover skill training, we've got our morning dispatch, arriving at the origin, things we don't move, protecting furniture, specialty items, loading the truck, driving to the destination, unloading the truck, packing boxes, and there's quizzes for all these too. So we're going to do loading the truck. Oops, that's the quiz. Sorry. We'll do loading the truck actual process. And so there's these little sub modules for each process for loading the truck. So basically, before we start packing the truck, we want to do a survey of the home. This should be a written survey, do a mental survey too, get your whole team on the right path. We're going to write down items and just make sure that it matches up with what's on the estimate, because if there is a problem, we want to let the customer know. We'll call into dispatch. Dispatch will talk to the customer, say, hey, this inventory doesn't match up. Your price might not be what it was quoted. And that way we can get ahead of problems right off the bat. So we don't have a customer who's sticker shocked at the end. Basically, they're prepped knowing that they actually have more stuff than what they may have told us over the phone if it was an over the phone quote, or if it was an on-site and they added more things. So we're going to be noting large pieces of furniture, like furniture, mattresses, as well as smaller items. We're going to make sure that all the items are properly protected inside the home. Basically, this is going to be wrapping up furniture, moving pads, stretch wrap, making sure that all small items that can fit into a box are put into a box. We're going to take the equipment off the truck, get everything set up. By taking it off the truck, we ensure that we have room to load the truck properly, and we're not dodging stacks of blankets or dollies or stuff like that, and we're able to load it up efficiently. We're putting pads on the floors of the trucks before we're putting a mattress on. Some of this may need to be updated too, because we're going to be putting mattress in mattress bags. And there's other modules for protecting the furniture. This is just loading the truck. But in case that mattress bag rips, we want it to be resting on a pad, and so there's not dirt getting in there. And anytime we stand up a sofa as well, which should also be wrapped up. But as you know, sometimes pads sag, they droop, things tear, so you want to just have that extra layer of padding there. Make sure all the boxes are packed to be prior to beginning to load. As we start to load the truck, we'll start to begin to build tiers. The crew chief on the job is going to have the final say how the truck will be packed. If your truck has an overhang or a mom's attic, you should bring boxes out or smaller items and place it up there first. The larger, bulkier items like the dressers or cabinets will be brought out first along with boxes. We're going to place chairs and loose stackable items on top. You can't really stack these things, so they're going to go on the top tier. We're going to use the vertical space as much as possible. There's approximately 1,200 cubic feet of space in a 26-foot truck. We want to make sure that we're using as much of that as possible from the beginning, so that we don't, run out of space at the end, knowing that we could have been a more efficient way to pack it. Even if you think it's all going to fit, no problem. We want there to be a few feet of extra space at the end of that truck, and use some ratchet straps to hold it all up, rather than run out of space and need another truck, because that's obviously a headache and an extra expense. We're going to begin packing the truck, assuming it'll be a tight fit, even if it doesn't seem like it. And we're going to use ratchet straps, rope, and bungees to secure anything that is not directly against something. So the next thing here, we've got a low stack and a high stack. The low stack is going to be more for like your one-bedroom apartments, your student moves. It's basically, if we have a 26-foot truck and we know that truck isn't going to come close to filling everything, we may opt to do a load stack. This also works for commercial moves where you're shuttling several trucks. And those of you who have come to our retreat and did IOMI, the International Office Moving Institute certification course, or if you've just done that on your own and you didn't come to one of our retreats, he talks about low stacking his trucks, and it's a faster way to load a truck. It's more efficient when you have multiple trucks that are playing round robin, going from point A to point B and switching back and forth. If you're doing this with a big move, you need several trucks. If it's a small move, like a one-bedroom apartment or like a student move or something like that, then this could be a good way to just prevent things from collapsing down, or if you don't want to take the time to do a professional tight pack, like it's going to be a long distance full household move. So this is typically going to be what we'll say for a really small job, or for a commercial job where we have multiple trucks. The next one, of course, is the high stack. This one is going to be more efficient. We pulled this directly from U-Haul. It's not a bad way to pack a truck. It's simple. Obviously, there's probably better ways than what they have, but for the starting off beginner mover, this is a pretty simple diagram that we will use to go by. And then we actually have an order of household goods that we're going to work to pack first. So this way a crew can all be on the same page. The helpers can know what to bring out first, so that the crew chief can pack the truck, and everybody can kind of know what to do. So I know there's different ways to do this. Different companies may have something different. I might get slammed on the internet for our method here, but this has worked for us, and just to kind of standardize this list of stuff. So start off with your boxes. These also clear pathways in the house, so that things aren't getting run into. We have an open doorway and hallways to get through. Then your dressers, bulky items, things that you can build tiers on top of, big armoires, chest of drawers, refrigerators, large nightstands, chests, storage cabinets. Notice these are all like bulky items. These are what we're putting in the truck first because they're the most stackable items and the best things for building tiers. China cabinets. Then we'll get into some more oddly shaped things. So mattresses. Flat screen TVs, these should be in a box, but if you can put these between mattresses in a box, that's usually going to be your safest way to move these things standing upright. Any kind of art should be in a picture carton and also put between there. Any kind of glass, marble, flat things. Typically, we want to go between the mattress and the box springs, or against the wall strapped up, or between something that is, gives it some give. Box springs, sofas, and love seats are going to be somewhere in the middle of the truck typically. Any kind of like a hutch or desks that may not be super stackable, maybe like an L-shaped desk or something that'll be up on its side. Dining room, kitchen tables, large armoires, end tables. So these are smaller things, smaller nightstands. They're typically going up top. Lamps, rugs, chairs. These are all just kind of like that fluff floater thing that's going to go up at the very top or towards the end of the truck. Then we start getting into like our grills and our patio furniture. If there's any plants, obviously we're not supposed to be moving plants interstate, but sometimes we do those local, or if they're fake plants, those, we can transport those. Tools like yard, shovels and rakes and all that stuff, ladders, toys, art, high value items. So you might have noticed that I put art and high value items towards the end of the truck. This is assuming that, you have a little space at the end of your truck. You can basically take the finer things that the customer is super proud about, or that is valuable to the customer, whether it's sentimental value or physical, actual value, and put that on the end of the truck. That way, it's the first thing off the truck, and your customer can breathe a sigh of relief at the end of the move. And you can also section this off appropriately with ratchet straps or rope, so that it's kind of like its own standalone thing at the very back of the truck, and things aren't getting stacked on top, and there's not things shifting and falling down onto it. So this is something that we may put at the very end of a truck. We may run a special trip for it, if it's really high value. I know we did some Picasso paintings not too long ago, and I think we actually hand carried those to the destination, which was actually pretty close to the origin. So the asterisk here indicates squeeze items, or items that can fit in gaps or on top of other things. There shouldn't be empty space between items. 8 to 10,000 pounds or 11 to 1,200 cubic feet should be able to properly fit under a 26-foot truck. So that's the process that we have for loading a truck. Like I said, there's probably some updates we could do on there. So welcome any feedback. I've been off the trucks for a little while now, so might be a little rusty, and probably have learned some things since I wrote this, but that's pretty much it.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, definitely. And hey, as owners, our goal is to eventually get off the trucks, because that's the only way to grow the business.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, yeah, I would say that's phenomenal. Thank you for that. And I hope everybody else enjoyed the layout of this. And again, Train You is an amazing program to start building your processes out. Even if you just start writing one process, it'll have you start to think how to create processes. And they actually give you templates on starting your first process as well. So definitely get going, get your processes in place. Get your processes in place, because they are important. Wade, did you have anything else for us today?
No, Dwight, I appreciate you doing this. I think, it's good to get some insight from other moving company owners on how they're doing things. And obviously that's what I do on my podcast. So the more tools and resources available out there, and reference points for people, I think stronger that we can make this industry. So thanks for putting this all together.
All right. Yeah. So as Wade mentioned, as also in the beginning of this video, that he does have a franchise. I don't know if you franchising out at this current time.
Yeah, we are. We're looking to sell territories, particularly in Florida right now. So we've got our eye on Orlando, Fort Myers, Naples, Southwest Florida, Jacksonville. But come talk to us if you're looking to have basically a recipe for success, and we'd be happy to see what we can do to leverage our brand and work with you. Nice thing about franchising is you can go into business for yourself, but not by yourself. And the more franchises we have, the stronger we'll get as an entire organization. So definitely would love to talk to some more people about out there that are trying to figure out some of the missing links and are looking for more of a structure or a recipe to follow, that can get behind an ever growing brand. We've been growing like crazy in our markets, so it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. All right, Wade. So thank you for having you today.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
everybody, please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Max Moving Training. We also have a Facebook group where we do various trainings in there as well on finance, marketing, you name the topic. We're usually hitting on that topic. And we got some pretty good heavy hitters in that group for moving company owners. So, the topics are definitely going to be good. All right. So I'll see you there. And Wade, thank you again.
All right, thanks again, Dwight.